Hey everybody, welcome back to Magic Orthodoxy. My name is David and this is a magic review. Today we are going to look at the social deck from Soma Hajnoczy. Soma, if you don't know who he is, he's a Hungarian magician. He started magic around the age of 10 and then he flourished into his adult career. He's won a dozen awards, including he won World Champion Stage Magic in FISM in 2009. He's best known for his phone act, and I'll put a link somewhere here on the screen so you can watch it. He came up with the idea for the social deck because he was going to actually be on TV way back in 2001, and he made a bunch of little profile default cards that would be for Facebook, and he showed this little trick to the host of the TV show, and her reaction was so strong. She said that it was so cool that he decided he was going to make some more tricks based on that same effect, using social media, using images and things that we already see day to day online. And so he started experimenting around with a couple different tricks, and then he came up with some sort of a prototype for his social deck. And so he printed it on his printer at home. He just stuck it to bicycle cards with double stick tape, and then he tested it on his family and friends, and it was a big hit. So then he went and made a prototype deck. He took it to a digital printer, and he had about 80 different cards, and then he kind of weeded those out until he found the 52 that he'd want to use for the social deck. And then he started developing a bunch of tricks for them. He wanted then to go mass market and produce the deck and make it in finished form. And he had over 3,000 decks printed in Belgium, but just the quality of the cards wasn't what he wanted. He wanted something better. He wanted a better product. And so he actually ended up going to the United States Playing Card Company, and he worked with them for about a year, and now this is the social deck that he has created. So yes, these are printed by Bicycle, so they do have a standard retail stock. They do have a modern cut. They do have air cushion finish. And so it is a really, really cool deck. The tuck box says the social deck by Soma, and then sign in has this default male profile picture. It's the social deck by Soma on the sides, and then it has his default profile picture there again. Has a little bit of an ad copy about Soma there, and that's pretty much it for the tuck case. So let's take a look at the cards. The back design is a one-way back design, and that's done on purpose. It does have a thin blue border, and it says the social deck in the center. Soma advises that you hold the deck in your hands with the words the social deck facing you. That way, when you turn the cards over to show them to your spectator, the cards are facing upwards and they're not upside down. This is strictly a deck that you do magic tricks with. You want to think of it more like a Gaff Deck. You don't want to think of it as a deck that you're going to do flourishes with or cuts or any sort of fancy things. Because you do want to think of this deck as a Gaff Deck, you're going to get a bunch of the default cards, a whole stack of them. They kind of make up the bulk of your deck, just so that it looks like you're holding an entire deck in your hands. And then you're going to get all the different gaffs or the different specialty cards that allow you to do the tricks. Things like red back cards, things that have special graphics on it just to do a single effect. You're going to get double backers, you're going to get blank cards. All the cards that you would think of that would be in a normal Gaff deck, you're kind of going to have in this. And so the feel of the deck and the play of some of the magic tricks are going to be very familiar to a seasoned magician. All right, so I wanted to grab the camera and give you a closer look at the social deck. And it's going to be kind of similar to a Gaff deck that you're already familiar with. You're going to get your cards that make the bulk of your deck. You're going to get blanks. There's even some double backers. There's some specialty cards that go with certain specific tricks, of course. And there's just a ton of stuff here. There's just a lot of really creative cards that are enabling you to just take some of your old classic, very familiar magic tricks and make something fresh. So the great thing about the social deck is you're not just getting a Gaff deck, you're actually getting a DVD, and you're getting an entire arsenal of effects. Back says you're getting 40 modern effects, you're getting 16 fully explained routines, and you're getting a ton more. Soma really goes over all the bells and whistles and all the play of this deck so that you can go out and show this to your friends and be an instant hit. And for the most part, these tricks are not very hard. They'll be very familiar card tricks that you already know, and that you do need to know a couple different sleights, of course, to do these tricks. You're going to need to know double lifts, double undercuts, an ordinates change, snap changes. You're going to know how to do multiple lifts, card control, etc. Second, Soma gives you kind of a cheat sheet too, which is really great. And I wish more Gaff Decks came with this for quick reference. Soma gives you a piece of paper in your DVD case that shows all the cards that are involved in the setup for each effect. And of course, if you're more of a digital person, you can even download this cheat sheet as a PDF. Another great thing is the entire DVD and all the bonus content is available online when you register your DVD. Okay, just to give you an idea of some of the effects, there's one trick called One Team. It's a kind of a 4-on-1 trick where all 4 cards vanish and they leave behind blank cards and they all reassemble on a single card. Another effect on this is called Couples. It's a cute little story about how a couple get together and then it's a 2-card fusion trick. And then they split apart. It's kind of similar to when a magician takes the 7 of clubs and he splits it into 2 3.5 cards. It's kind of like that. It was inspired by Paul Harris's Las Vegas split effect. There's another trick on there called Friend Request. It's a prediction effect where you correctly guess how many cards a spectator will deal to the table, and then how many cards are black, and then how many are reds. There's an effect called Gallery. It's a card shifting routine where apparently an all-in-one card transforms into a single picture card. Effect on here called 1 and 8. It's similar to Out of This World, and it uses the Orlam subtlety, so that's kind of cool. There's an effect called Birthday Message. It's another card transposition series where you kind of walk the spectator through the ins and outs of how birthdays work on Facebook. There's a trick on here called Boys and Girls. It's an oil and water effect. It doesn't have anything to do with social media. You could do it just as easily with Jacks and Queens, but the trick looks really cool and really natural when you do it with this deck. And I wouldn't be surprised to see this trick as even a standalone oil and water routine that you could do anywhere. And it borrows a little bit on a Joshua J routine, but when you see it with a social media deck, it's pretty cool. There's also a bunch of Houdini effects. You actually have a card that has Houdini's face on it. You can do the ambitious card trick with it. You do a card and deck transposition. There's just a ton of ideas. Yeah, so that is just a few of the effects that you get with this DVD. Like I said, there's 40 smaller effects altogether amidst the 16 different routines. And, you know, really for what you're getting a solid Gaff Deck printed from the United States Playing Card Company, and you're getting a DVD high def, plus you're getting all the access and all the extra effects online for $50. You can head on down to penguinmagic.com and pick this up for $50. I would highly recommend it, especially if you want to add a little something to your card tricks. You know what Soma has done is he's taken something, like I said at the beginning, that's iconic, something that people recognize instantly, a medium and a format that we all use, you know, Facebook and social media, and married them together. And I think that's the cool part. You know, certainly you could do all these tricks with a standard deck of cards, okay? But the idea of using pictures to tell the story, and then to use familiar images that people, especially young people, are gravitating towards. And so I think what Soma has done here is exciting, and I can't wait to do some of these effects for some people and create some of that new spark in someone. Who knows? You could be the inspiration to turn somebody else onto magic and to card magic, and isn't that the dream? Isn't that what we would love to do, is to pass on magic to the younger generation? Anyway, enough soapboxing. Head on down to Penguin Magic, pick this up for $50. Definitely worth it. Go back out and check Shoma's website, shomashow.com, and you can learn more about it. And as always, recommend that you like this video just so other people can find it faster. You can subscribe to this channel just to stay up to date on the latest in cards and card magic and Facebook magic. You can also follow us on Twitter, which is twitter.com/magicorthodoxy. You can also like our page on Facebook, which is facebook.com/magicorthodoxy. Later.